By now, owners of Nintendo 3DS systems are aware of most of the games and features the system has to offer. They may also be aware of a few extra tricks included on the 3DS, but they certainly can't be aware of all of them. Here are 10 hidden features on the Nintendo 3DS that players might not know. Before we get into these Nintendo 3DS features, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to stay up to date with fresh content from the gamer. Number 10. Hidden games. Nintendo is pretty well known for including secret levels in their games, especially when it comes to the Mario franchise, so it's no surprise that they would include a couple of hidden games on their 3DS systems as well. A gamer in Japan found the first hidden game when they decided to play the Mario theme on their 3DS. They opened the browser and tapped in the first 6 notes of the famous theme from Super Mario Bros. Players are then treated to a Breakout game clone that they can play. For those not familiar, Breakout was a popular arcade game back in 1976. Players would use a ball to knock down as many bricks as possible, with the highest score to date being 896 points. If the game seems unimpressive, keep in mind it was created by Steve Bristow, Nolan Bushnell, and Steve Wozniak. Another game that's more overlooked than hidden is Game & Watch Soccer. For older Nintendo fans, they may remember a time when the company created a series of handheld electronic games. If a player pulls the blue string in the middle of the screen when they're on the 3DS music player screen, they'll be treated to a variety of visualizations. While most people may think these animations are simply a way to watch the music, they're actually playable games. Number 9. OK Go. Everyone at some point is guilty of putting off a system update once in a while. Unfortunately, it's a necessary evil if a user wants to ensure their system is running smoothly. Perhaps Nintendo wanted to encourage users to keep their system up to date when they included this Easter egg. Going to the system settings, players can select the system update option and the 3DS will go online and begin downloading and installing the latest system update. It'll also download something else as well. Players will be treated to a 3D and 2D version of the White Knuckles music video by the band OK Go. Yeah, the treadmill guys. There's no real explanation for why this music video is included with the update. It's possible the band wanted a new avenue to explore their innovative music videos. After all, that's kind of what they're known for. Nevertheless, players are gifted this video whether they like it or not. If a player wants to keep the video, they should be aware that the video will self-destruct after installing a new system update. Since the video was already released about a full year earlier, no one really knows why this self-destructing video was offered with a system update in the first place. Maybe Nintendo just wanted to try something new. Number 8. Tour the Louvre. Nintendo is often known for trying new things. Even if their attempts are sometimes unsuccessful, they still continue to push ahead in order to innovate the video game industry. Their determination to be at the top of their game is admirable enough to set them apart from other video game companies. Korean Air decided to try something different themselves. In 2012, they sponsored a program at the Louvre where museum attendees could utilize a special 3DS as a sort of interactive tour guide. Nintendo helped out as well by donating 5,000 handheld systems to the museum. Using the 3DS, attendees have 3 different options for exploring the Louvre. The Masterpiece Tour guides attendees through the works of art with audio commentary and ensures museum goers don't wander off their course. Attendees can also use the Must-See Tour or the interactive map. Each option comes with commentary in multiple languages. Unfortunately, some users reported the program did not keep up to date with the ever-changing museum, which could pose problems for attendees. For the most part, it appears as though users were pleasantly surprised with the ease of use. Whether or not this type of technology in a museum will catch on is anyone's guess. Number 7. Import Miis. One of the most fun aspects of playing on the Wii U is being able to create Miis. Some players spend hours either creating Miis who look just like them or creating entirely unique Miis. Either way, most players are pretty attached to their Miis. Since they've spent so much time customizing them, it's to be expected. 3DS owners can also create Miis on their handheld systems as well. The setup for creating Miis on the 3DS is essentially the same, but what if a player wanted to keep the Miis they've already created on their Wii U? Fortunately, Nintendo obviously thought of this conundrum and created a way for players to bring their Wii U Miis over to their 3DS. To import already established Miis, all players have to do is enter the Mii Maker menu. From there, they can access the Mii Channel Wii option. The 3DS will then transfer the Mii over from the Wii U. Players can also generate QR codes to share their Miis to their other systems, through email, or with other friends. For players obsessed with creating and sharing their Miis, the 3DS offers the perfect option to do so. Number 6. Home menu. Most owners of a 3DS are aware more of some of the little tricks included on the system. Nintendo always seems to find a way to add something extra to their gameplay. One popular method for the 3DS is the use of the microphone for something other than listening. Some players have already discovered how Nintendo integrates the use of the microphone in many 3DS titles. For instance, players can blow out torches or blow bubbles in-game by blowing into the 3DS microphone. Of course, the results of blowing into the microphone varies from game to game, and some games may not utilize this function at all. Nevertheless, the inclusion of this feature is an attempt on Nintendo's part to try something new with their gameplay, and for the most part, it works. While on the 3DS home screen, users can blow into the microphone and the logo will spin. Several users have noted that some game logos do different things if they blow into the microphone. Some of the logos may spin around entirely. Other logos may have the characters near the logo spin around while the logo stays static. While basically nonsensical, it's still a fun trick to try once or twice. Number 5. The Earth. Some players may not be aware of the augmented reality games available for the 3DS. Every system came equipped with several games and cards which were to be used in conjunction with the AR games. There are also several other games players can unlock as well. These titles include games like archery, mini-golf, fishing, and Pix. Some of these games can be unlocked by beating other AR games, while some need to be paid for with play coins. One AR game available on the handheld system is Globe. In Globe, players can view a model of the world and their location on it. Players can make the Earth bigger or smaller, and they can explore different continents. One feature of the game allows players to throw a ball at the globe by pressing the A button. If the globe is hit with balls enough times, it'll turn red. If a player hits it with even more balls, the globe will eventually explode, and the 3DS will issue a warning about taking care of the planet. After that, if players want to play Globe again, they'll have to purchase it from the store for one play coin. It's certainly a strange way to remind players to look after the Earth. Number 4. Cuckoo. Another strange addition to the AR games available on the 3DS is the clock game. Less of a game and more of an unnecessary feature, clock is, well, a clock. To be more specific, it's an augmented reality cuckoo clock that displays the time. Like most clocks, this cuckoo clock has an hour hand, minute hand, and a second hand. What else does this clock do aside from keeping players punctual? Well, if players press the A button, a cuckoo bird will appear from inside the clock, and sometimes it'll be replaced by a hen. The difference between them is the hen will make barking sounds, which is more in line with actual chickens, obviously. While this feature may seem somewhat pointless, there is one more thing the cuckoo bird can do. If a player gets too close to the bird while pressing the A button, the cuckoo will pop out and crack the user's screen, virtually of course. If a player does this multiple times, the cuckoo will crack the screen more until it eventually explodes. Once this is done, the cuckoo bird will turn black and won't be able to break the screen again until the clock feature is exited. Although this feature is somewhat odd, it might be fun to see it at least once. Number 3. Helpful Pikmin. Nintendo always goes the extra mile to include fun and exciting Easter eggs in nearly everything they do. They're also fans of including fan-favorite characters and crossovers. Whether it's the Super Smash Bros. Franchise bringing characters together for a fight, or including pictures of Mario in a Zelda game, Nintendo loves to bring their brand together as often as possible. It also seems like players love the idea of Nintendo crossovers and perhaps have come to expect it. If a player decides to perform a system transfer between their 3DS and another Nintendo system, they'll be treated to another crossover. Anyone familiar with the Pikmin games will immediately recognize the little leaf-headed characters who appear on screen during a system transfer. These tiny characters are often helpful in games, so it makes sense that they're called in to help during a transfer as well. After all, they're used to carting around large items to help out. During the transfer, users can watch the tiny Pikmin carry their files from one system to the other. It's adorable for sure, but not necessarily practical. Perhaps Nintendo wanted to find a way to entertain users while they deal with the tedious task of a system transfer. Number 2. Gyroscope photos. The Nintendo 3DS includes a camera users can utilize to take photos or video. The 3DS is also capable of taking 3D photos by using the two cameras on the back of the system as opposed to using the single camera on the front. This is especially fun for users who want to try out all the features they can. The 3DS camera also has some special features users can explore. One feature is the capability to use the camera on a timer. Some users may like the stop motion aspect, which uses photos and merges them into a video. Then there are the special graphics that users can apply to their photos, such as sparkles, which can be applied by blowing into the microphone on the 3DS. The gyroscope on the 3DS makes these graphics even more interesting. While moving the 3DS around, the graphics will fall or move according to the rules of gravity. Turn the 3DS on its side and the graphics will shift to accommodate gravity according to the gyroscope. That's pretty impressive considering this is a handheld system. It shows that Nintendo put more thought into their camera features than simple overlay graphics. Number 1. Favorite color. Nintendo users love creating Miis. Whether those Miis match the player or are an amalgamation of different features drawn straight from a gamer's imagination, creating Miis is simply fun. This is probably due to the diversity in Mii choices and the different results players can get while creating their Miis. When players create their Mii on the Nintendo 3DS, they're asked what their favorite color is. Players may have noticed that this causes their Mii's shirt to change to their favorite color. While this is a nice change, most people probably think that this has no effect on anything else regarding the 3DS. Actually, the color of a Mii's shirt does cause a change in the gameplay on the 3DS. Most specifically, it relates to Street Pass quests. Depending on which color a player chooses as their favorite, their Street Pass quest may have different conditions or magic which can be used in battle. For example, a red shirt would unleash fire magic during a player's quest. A light blue shirt color can unleash freezing magic. Every shirt color has different abilities to use in the Street Pass quest. The fact that Nintendo went so far as to give different shirt colors different abilities is impressive. It just goes to show that they care even about the smallest detail in every game. So, did you already know your 3DS had a hidden game? Did you discover a 3DS secret we may have missed? Let us know in the comments, and as always, don't forget to check out our playlist. Thanks for watching!